my name is Jules.
Evelyn. I work as a personal shopper for .com.
My name is Leticia Contreras, and I'm Associate Faculty in Behavioral Sciences and Professor of Anthropology at Santa Rosa Junior College.
I'm limited to what I can walk to. Job-wise, I'd have to find something, and if there's nothing that pays well next to me, I'm pretty screwed.
There's a lot of places that are incredibly dangerous for a car, much less for any other type of vehicle, even with a dedicated bike lane. So I was like, how would one, without a car, be able to cross this area? The answer is not at all. But how are people not supposed to move around the cities that they're in?
Blame it on one thing. You can go on and try. Talking can be so hard when you try.
I don't think it's easy. I have to move my life around a lot. I have to make sure I have a job that's next to my home. It's difficult to pretty much do anything without a car.
What do we struggle with most? Well, I think a couple of things, but one of the biggest things I would say is safety, outmanaged growth, and unintentional infrastructure.
It just gets so busy, like once traffic hits, and it's like, you know, if you're there at a bad time, then it's just like impossible to get through. I really had to pay attention to like when I'm crossing the road on that intersection that's like right outside my house, because like even though the crosswalk will clearly say that someone is like, you know, walking, like people will still like take a turn, like they'll see me coming and then they'll inch closer and closer and closer to me, and it just makes me feel like I have to really rush, you know, or else something's gonna happen if I like look away even for just a second.
Not only do you require people to travel throughout these areas so you have more vehicles and we don't have public infrastructure that's prepared to deal with the amount of vehicles that are going through cities, but then also of course you have all this foot traffic and then you have bike traffic, and unfortunately these cities weren't kind of thought of to be as large as they are. You have these kind of smaller infrastructures, old infrastructures for a developing completely different environment. Like there are so many people living here today. I lived in Palm Desert earlier this year, really interesting cultural social environment, and there I really noticed that there was like a huge gap between the really wealthy people that were there, partially tourist vacation homes, right, second homes, etc. And then there was the communities who served them in the restaurants they were attending, in the hotels that they were working in, and I lived in that community. And a lot of people did not have vehicles there. A lot of those people were taking the bus to work.
Because I know that they do not pay people enough in this area, and it's a very expensive area to live in, and not everyone can afford cars. For more lower income people, like those sections are a lot more limited compared to the people who pay more.
And so yeah, like you have these tiered levels of the expense that it takes to live in this place, the expense that it takes to work in this place, to be able to live in this place. And unfortunately, these are all reasons that we see people further experiencing homelessness. Because if one of those things goes wrong, not having access to that job, not having access to that particular unit that they're generally renting, everything can completely come undone. Infrastructure that doesn't create a place of access for working class people, that makes them have to spend more money to even be able to travel around, because we also don't live in a world where our transportation is free or cheap. So people have to pay pretty significant amounts to not be that comfortable. A lot of cities end up having to pay out money to individuals who have been hurt because of the situations that they've created in these cities. So instead of paying out all of these lawsuits, they can put some of that money back into social infrastructure and actually gain a lot more money back from not just tourism, but obviously local residents. It's better for sustainability because you have less cars, less fumes, etc., which creates more beautiful housing environments. So it's really better for the health of a city, for the health of its environment, and I would say that it's like fiscally responsible. And I truly believe that any city that would make efforts toward bettering their city in all of these public infrastructure ways would absolutely economically benefit from the myriad of funding and models that would come looking for how did you build this, how did you do this, and be totally interested in picking up what a city like this could do.
Hold on, I'm coming back. The night is a cul-de-sac. The dreams that